Very good evening, students. Today I am starting with science for class 8th. Very interesting chapter, coal and petroleum. Very interesting chapter, coal and petroleum. Coal as well as petroleum. See, before I am going to the chapter, students, please do not forget to subscribe SST Academy of Mathematics Arivalagan and tap the bell icon. Students, you do me 3 favors after watching this video. If you are really interested, if you are really getting use of these videos, please do not forget to like and comment, subscribe and tag. And third one is very important. Please share with your friends. Let the students or poor students get benefited. Okay. See, we'll go to the class. Now very important here. This is about coal and petroleum. Coal and petroleum. See, before we are studying about coal and petroleum, we should know what do you mean by resources. What is resources? See, any source which we use for welfare human activities. We are using for welfare of human activities. Any source which we are using for welfare of human activities, we call it as resources. Very simple. You will be knowing that almost all everything will be using. See, definitely we will be using sunlight, we will be using water, we will be using soil, we will be using other things from nature, and there are two different types of resources available depending upon the availability. Depending upon the availability in nature as well as man-made. Depending upon availability of nature as well as man-made. There are two different types of resources. One is said to be natural resources. One is said to be what resources? Natural resources. Depending upon availability. Natural resources. Now you are aware that see, this natural, even you will have artificial resources also. That is what we call it as man-made resources. So under this natural resources, depending upon the availability, further natural resources has been classified into two types. Depending upon availability. That is unlimited quantity. Depending upon unlimited quantity. One is unlimited quantity. Other one is said to be limited quantity. So yeah, this is very important. What is unlimited? See, we are aware that see, continuously we are using sunlight. See, you take about see the sun which has been from so many million years back, and even still it will be other few billions years it will be there. So sunlight daily when you are using also, definitely it is not going to get exhausted. Why? Because it is unlimited quantity. Sunlight is unlimited quantity. And see, not only sunlight, even you take soil. Soil is also never get exhausted, but we make it as business. Due to that marketing only, the availability of soil depends. Depending upon the market, we are selling it, so that we have a deficiency in supply. But apart from that, naturally soil, it is very abundant in nature. Apart from that, even water also. See, we have scarcity for drinking water, soft water, not for ocean water. Ocean water, 97% of entire world is covered by water. So see that whatever the water content, okay, it is a saline water. So this all said to be unlimited quantity. Or we call it as inexhaustible resources. Unlimited quantity, or simplicity we call it as inexhaustible resources. So what do you mean by this inexhaustible resources? Inexhaustible resources, it's nothing but natural resources. On continue using also, it never get exhausted. It is an unlimited quantity. The resources which are unlimited quantity and continue using of this sources never get exhausted. never get exhausted. And even it takes very longer period. For exhaustion, it will take very longer period, take about million and billion of years. Don't worry, we'll be living around 70 years, 80 years probably. You may even have 60, 70, 80, 90, who knows, within 100. That is the limitation of human being can live. But this is behind that. That is what I'm telling about my generation and your generation. So this all called as inexhaustible resources. Very good example for inexhaustible resources. It's nothing but, as I told you, sunlight. As I told you, sunlight. Not only sunlight, water, soil. So these are all very good examples of inexhaustible resources. Inexhaustible resources. See here what happens as human activity taking place. As human activity taking place, and it is an unlimited resources. It is an unlimited resources. Definitely here what happens, these never get exhausted. Never get exhausted. Such a resources is said to be inexhaustible resources, and they are said to be unlimited quantity. Very good example is sunlight, water, soil. Next is exhaustible resources. See, we are limited quantity. The stock is very less. The stock is very less. So limited quantity. So we call it as exhaustible. Exhaustible. So exhaustible resources. Exhaustible resources. So this exhaustible resources and continuous using of human activity, definitely a day will come where we will fall shortage of these resources. Shortage means we don't have supply also, we even don't get also. Why? Because continually we are using it. Why? Because it is extra, it is limited to a very limited quantity. It is to a very limited quantity. As we are continuously using it, definitely a day will come we'll be running out of shortage. We'll be running out of shortage. Such a resources is said to be exhaustible resources. Such a resources is said to be exhaustible resources. And very important, when we are studying about exhaustible resources, very important is, see, which all comes under this exhaustible resources. Which all comes under this exhaustible resources. Very important is, now very fast, petroleum. Petroleum products. Very first one is what? Petroleum. Second one is minerals. Minerals. Second one is minerals. See, petroleum, very first of exhaustible one is petroleum. Next is minerals. Next is minerals. Then even you have petroleum, minerals. Even we have coal. Okay, even we have coal. See, not only coal, even we'll have other sources also. See, in this petroleum, we'll have two one, depending upon solid and liquid. Depending upon solid and liquid. So solid we call it as coal. Liquid we call it as petrol, diesel, that all comes under. Okay. So here petroleum, minerals, coals, this all comes under exhaustible resources. This all comes under exhaustible resources. Even this petroleum is also called as crude oil. Petroleum is called as what? Crude oil. Even we can call it as crude oil, or even we can call it as mineral oil also. Okay. So this from petroleum only we are able to get coals. From coal is separated, solid from coal is separated, and liquid from petrol, diesel and extras are separated. Okay. So yeah, apart from that, even forest, wildlife. See, forest. See, day to day due to these human activities, even we are going on continuously decreasing even forest also. Okay, even forest, as well as natural gas. But keep it in mind, this coal, natural gas, this all comes under petroleum. It all comes under petroleum. See, these are examples of exhaustible resources. Very first example of exhaustible resources are nothing but petroleum, minerals, coal, forest, wildlife, as well as natural gas. See, petroleum. See, I'll tell you in later studying about petroleum, we are able to bifurcate solid one as well as liquid one. Solid one, it's nothing but coal. For the coal, I've been classified. I'll tell you in detail about how it has been classified. Okay, so second one is minerals. Almost all you know that minerals are nothing but from which we are able to get ores. From ores we are able to get metals. So as going on doing mining, definitely a day will come, there is N for mining also. So you will be knowing very familiar about KGF also, gold mine, as it has been continuously using, there is shortage of gold, so it is closed. Okay, so that is the minerals. This all comes under minerals. So we'll study coal later on, what is coal. And due to various human activities, as I told, even forest, day-to-day forest area as well as trees, everything is coming down. Why? Because it is to a limited quantity. Due to human activity, it is getting exhausted. Even wildlife also. Why? Because wildlife means the animals as well as plants which lives in forest. Even that also. And very, very important is the natural gas. Very important is natural gas. As you go into fraction distillation of petroleum, we are able to get natural gas. That we will study it later. Okay. Now, under this exhaustible resources, very first we'll be studying about coal. We'll be studying about coal. Exhaustible resources. What is exhaustible resources? Exhaustible resources are those resources which are very limited in quantity and they get exhausted continuously due to human activity. They get exhausted continuously to human activity. Continuously due to activity of human being, it get exhausted. It gets exhausted means one or the other day it is going to be shortage. It is going to be shortage. So that's very, very, very important. Now, so as I said about coal, see how this coal has been formed. How this coal has been formed. See, charcoal is entirely different. When you burn wood, wood is converted in form of charcoal. Wood is converted in form of charcoal. That burning, it is in presence of oxygen. It is in presence of oxygen. Wood is converted in form of charcoal. This is not in presence of oxygen. This is in absence of oxygen. In absence of oxygen. Here how this coal has been formed. How this coal has been formed. See, very, very, very important. Before here, see what are the main uses of this coal. Before we are studying about the story of coal, very first main you want to know about what are the uses of coal. Where do you use coal? See, in earlier, this coal, it is used for cooking purposes. Cooking of food. Very first one, cooking of food. See, even nowadays also when you go to some of the very high class restaurant or five-star hotels, still they cook some of the food by using only coal, or some of the food by using coal. So earlier it is used in cooking of food. Cooking of food. And second one, where this coal is used, this coal, it is used in railway engine. Railway engine. It is used in railways. Railway, initially steam engines. What we call it as steam engines. So this coal, it is used in rail engine. Why? Because production of steam. Production of steam. From this production of steam, we are able to run the engine. We are able to run the engine. So that is steam engine. Now almost all entire India, once upon a time, the rail used to train used to run only by steam engines. Now it is all of diesel engine as well as electrified engines. Now we are using only diesel engine as well as electrified engine. Before 2 years also, it was in practice in Ooty. Ooty train. Before 2 years, even Ooty train, it is said to be steam engine. It is said to be steam engine. Even now they are using diesel engine there. Okay. Now third one, what is the third use of this coal? Means definitely it is used in production of electricity in thermal power station. Thermal power station. Power station. So this is used in production of thermal power stations. Thermal power station. That is, it is used in production of electricity. It is used in production of electricity. So where you will be studying about thermal power stations. Where you will be studying about thermal power station. How from this coal, they will burn the coal and it is converted in form of steam. From steam, they will produce electricity. That is what we call it as thermal power stations. Thermal power station. These are the uses of coal which we are used to use earlier. Okay, that is cooking of food, railway engines as well as thermal power stations. Now, very, very important is story of coal. Story of coal. Now, very, very, very important. This coal is also said to be fossils. Okay, even it is also said to be what? Fossils. Why we call it as fossils? Fossils means, why? Because it's very clear. It is by the conversion of dead vegetation which have been converted, dead vegetation which have been converted in form of carbon, okay. Now these fossils are nothing but definitely they are formed from living organism, either plants or animals, so we call it as fossils, now what is the story of coal? So how will you define the story of coal? See, very very important. When you take about 300 million years back, 300 million years back. See, that is while during formation of after formation of the world, about 300 million years of back, the plants which is present in low-lying wet area, wetland, due to some natural calamities. For example, see, low-lying means now you have mountain ranges, you have glaciers all. See, here you have plants, trees, everything all. Plants, trees. Okay. So here what happens? As due to some natural calamities such as floods. Not only floods. Okay. Earthquake. Or volcanoes. So whatever it is, some such as floods, earthquake, volcanoes. These are natural calamities. So what happens? These plants and trees, due to these natural calamities, these plants and trees have been buried under the earth. It is buried, not burned. It is buried under the earth. So, which have been sedimented under the earth. See, this could have been taken million of years, not 1 or 2 years. Just imagine million of years. 1 million is equal to 10 lakh years. So, this is 300 million years. Just imagine how many years it could have been taken to formation of fossil fuels. So, what I am telling, here what happens, which have been sedimented under earth, okay, which have been buried under the earth, as it is buried under the earth. So what happens, you will have formation of soil. So different layers of soil are formed. Here you will have that coal. Different layers of soils are formed. So as different layers of soil are formed, definitely the temperature continuously increases. Due to high temperature and pressure. Due to high temperature and pressure. So what happens here? Due to this both high temperature and pressure, here the remains of plants as well as trees is converted in form of carbon. So which is converted in form of carbon. What we call it as carbonization. We call it as what? Carbonization. So what is carbonization? The slow process of conversion of dead vegetation. Into carbon. Okay, so we call it as carbonization. Means here what happens? The plants as well as trees, it is a dead vegetation which have been slowly converted in form of carbon. Since it is slowly converted in form of carbon, we call it as carbonization. You are getting my point. So this is about how this coal has history. See here what happens. Due to this natural calamities, the plants and animals which in low wetland area as floods, earthquake, volcanoes, due to this all natural calamities, this have been buried under the earth. means which have been sedimented under the earth, which have been sedimented under the earth. As it has been sedimented under the earth, you will have formation of different layers of soil. You will have formation of different layers of soil. As different layers of soil are formed, definitely there is continuous increase in the temperature. There is continuous increase in the temperature. Due to continuous increase in the temperature, definitely temperature and pressure increases. Temperature and pressure increases. At this temperature and pressure, very slowly the slow process of dead vegetation is converted in form of carbon. Dead vegetation which converted in form of carbon, that is what we call it as carbonization. We call it as carbonization. So this is how much minutes, ma'am?
Sir, it is 20 minutes.
Okay. So it is converted in form of carbon. We call it as carbonization. We call it as carbonization. So this is nothing but why we call it as fossil fuel means the living organism is converted in form of fuel. So we call it as fossil fuels. Coal is a form of fossil fuels. Now this coal, it is taken in industries. Coal is taken in industries. As it is taken in industries, it undergoes several procedure and it is converted in form of other three different things. One will, it is used in form of coal tar. It is used in form of coal tar. It is used in form of coke. It is used in form of coke. So we'll have various process. That one let me explain in next classes. And dear students, do not forget to share SST Academy of Mathematics, Arivalagan, and tap the bell icon. Please students, as I told you, you require 3 favors to me. Number 1, like and comment. Number 2, subscribe and tap the bell icon. Third one is very, very important. Share, share, share. So that all students will get benefited. And I'll be loading this video today. And tomorrow I'll be continuing with the chapter. Thank you.